Hi, this is Array Beidler. Today's podcast is The Changing Landscape of Regulatory Audits, a survey of hot topics. Today's objectives are learning the latest in regulatory changes and auditing hot topics, learning practical approaches to staying on top of regulatory changes and prioritizing risk, and also we'll have a discussion on how organizations can more effectively manage regulatory audits. With an increase in all types of audits, changes in Medicare RAC functions, initiation of Medicaid RACs, and the public demand for policy changes and transparency, we will explore what these changes are, what audits are occurring, and how to protect yourself from the onslaught. In addition, we will look at the recent movements towards reform and other hot topics in the changing regulatory landscape. So, why is this important? It's important because of all of the resources devoted to audit tracking and process. They take away from the production and coding time for HIM professionals. They may also increase coding time. And it's hard to justify this increased time to leadership without having metrics. So today we're going to talk through some of the efficient ways to work on your workflow and increase your efficiency. So, the current landscape. We have RACs in Medicare and Medicaid. We have the CERT error rate program, the PERM for the state Medicaid audits. We have the state Medicaid fraud units. We have Medicare Advantage audits, Office of Inspector General inquiries, our Medicare administrative contractor audits, and even private insurance. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Here are the latest, these are from January 2013, the Recovery Audit Program, a national program. You can see here the total corrections were $4.2 billion. And this is just for the RACs, the Medicare RACs. You can see in the first quarter of fiscal year 13, $780 million in corrections. This is a huge issue. Also, there's an increase in medical record requests, an increase in the total number of complex audit denials. And some of the important issues are that even though we're sending in records for audit reviews, 60% of them did not contain an overpayment, and then 44% will appeal the denials. And 72% are successful in their appeals. So it really shows that, the question of, are the RACs really looking at the right thing? Is this the right process and program? But we have to deal with it as it is. The real key here when we're talking about resources dedicated to audits is the administrative burden on RACs. Of the 1,300 hospitals that reported, 63% reported spending more than $10,000 managing the RAC process. But it's not just the cost. The cost of managing and tracking. It's also the cost of training, education, and process improvement for each of the audit items that the RAC either finds or has potential findings. So what's hot? We have the Office of Civil Rights with their pilot they completed on privacy, security, and breach notification audits. And now that they're reviewing those audits, they're going to move forward with a full audit program. We also have meaningful use attestation audits. So for anybody who is going for those meaningful use dollars, if you fill out the attestation, you will most likely face an audit. And let's see, another hot, or what's coming, we have, there was a Medicare Audit Improvement Act that went through hoping to improve the RAC process. And we all know that ICD-10 implementation will happen October 1st, 2014. And this affects all who are covered by HIPAA, not just Medicare and Medicaid. This is going to be a huge item for compliance issues and making sure that claims are coded appropriately. So just the bottom line here, how do you manage audits and your risk? Do you use the same formula for all your audits, and does it work? So do you use your RAC process for the rest of your audits, even though they might have different time frames? Do you have the same philosophy on audits? Do you on appealing audits? Do you appeal all of them or just a select few? And then completing the audit loop. Do you do your re-audit, your education and training, and your monitoring? This is key. So later in our next podcast, we'll be talking about the follow-up audit and making sure that you're doing your education and training. Make sure to stop by my website, Compliance Training Resources. Thank you.